Hit the other button. Go.
Okay.
Go. It don't want to go. Okay, we're already 11 seconds into the thing. Okay, fine. You guys know what happens. Whatever. Hi, we're here.
Hello.
Hello. The opening credits bombed.
The opening credits.
Is that a computer glitch thing, Doc, or what is it that happens? Computer glitch when you miss that live thing?
I don't know. I'm clicking on the thing like, are you gonna go? Are you gonna go? Thing never went. I heard it.
Novo.
The radioactive green cup messes with Doc's computer.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. You guys know it's the Jeff Kendall and Doc show.
Hey, Astro.
Yes. And of course, we have Jeff Kendall over there,
Mm-hmm.
Joe Mayo down below me, Tim Allen over here. And yes, Joe is back from Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Yep.
Yeah.
Living on Tulsa Town.
Yeah, and don't forget, there's a new Snapple Croc.
Yeah.
Crackle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one of those. Tim Allen, go to Podomatic.com. And
Yes.
operator error,
Yeah, operator error. Yeah, there you go.
I guess.
You hit the wrong button.
No, I hit the right button. It just
Oh, you hit the
didn't
right
go.
button. It was just. I hope your computer isn't broke.
It
Lenovo.
came on for a second, and then it went back off again.
I know. I was telling Jeff my second computer that's over there in the
Crash.
lake crashed yesterday. So like, not you too. Like, come on. But I thought of it for 2 hours trying to get it to go. I was making a CD.
Aha.
Of,
So
of
making that one.
of that
Mhm.
Beatles song, that's been out for about 3 days.
Oh yeah, that one.
I haven't heard about that. What?
No.
Yeah.
How many times have you heard it in the last 4 days? I'll say 12.
Oh, probably about 10.
4.
I liked it.
Yeah, I was about 4. I'm about 4.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I really love it now. Now I really love
Yeah,
it.
I
The
enjoy
video, the video did it for me.
Yeah.
That cinched it for me.
Yeah.
And I have a bone to pick with from Thursday night.
Okay.
We're all
How'd
on
that
here
do?
and we're talking about, and everything. And everybody on the panel says, oh, it's not going to be available in stores. You got to get it online. So I didn't go on Friday because everybody said you couldn't. And Target's site was down. I looked at Target and they had nothing down. Okay. So then I start watching videos and everybody's gone to Target and bought the thing. And I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. But. So I stroll into my Target yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And
You got it. Yay.
Whoa.
they had
Yeah.
one. They had one, but I bought
You
it.
got it.
That one.
Now they have
That
none now.
No, they're out of them.
Yeah, but I was just shocked. I went thinking it's not going to be there, but I'm going to go anyway.
Mhm.
Wait, the birthday
I don't know what
boy-
was wrong with their site, but
Yeah.
I couldn't even find that on their site. I mean, their site was a little bit working, but as far as local stores went, I couldn't even go to my local store. It wouldn't do that.
Yeah, I was in Oklahoma in the morning of the release. I'm calling up at like 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm calling all these Oklahoma stores and Tulsa, Oklahoma stores.
Yeah.
And nobody had it. And then finally one store in a place called Broken Arrow. That's where I went.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the
suburb.
area. That's the area I liked a lot because to me it felt like home a lot. That area, Broken Arrow. That's where they had 3 copies, so they held one for me.
Yeah, Broken Arrow is a suburb of Tulsa. So.
Hello,
Jorgen's birthday boy.
Oh, it's Jorgen's birthday.
Hello, happy birthday, Jorgen.
Thank you, people.
Mm-hmm.
So, Jorgen, how many times have you heard Now and Then?
I heard it a couple of times. Yes.
Up 2, only 2.
Mm-hmm.
I must have heard it.
2 or 3 maybe, but it's,
And of course, the ones that I ordered, by the way, from the Beatles site, which are not here. Who knows when they're ever going to come? Are at a store by me. I could have bought them So I went and I bought a clear vinyl.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't notice an Oklahoma accent coming out of Joe yet, but
Yeah.
I don't know Oklahoma accent. I don't have. I don't
Oklahoma
know how to do an
accent.
Oklahoma accent. I don't
Well,
even know how to do one.
it's certain parts of Oklahoma. Certain parts of Oklahoma have a bit of a southern drawl, you know.
Southern
From
drawl in there.
Oklahoma.
Coughing still.
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma was never like this.
Yeah.
I got a lot of mileage out of that. The
Yeah.
Oklahoma was never like this thing. I wanted to try it.
explain to me. What
Yeah,
does
it was.
this mean?
Hmm.
What does that line mean? I don't know what it means at all. Unless he means, I wonder if he means when Paul sings that in press, does he mean the song Oklahoma? Like the play Oklahoma? What does he
I
mean?
don't know.
It's just an old saying. I don't really know what it means.
Yeah. I wouldn't know
Just
either.
means a place is unexpected. I think something is different than you'd think. But
Yeah, it
it's
doesn't
an
really
old
fit
saying.
that I can see in the song, but whatever. It's
Yeah.
okay.
Oklahoma was never like this. Like where I live, you can drive south 3 miles and you'll have all this wide open spaces. You know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like. Yeah, that's not for me.
Yeah.
Well,
Also, a lot of times I need to duck into a restroom.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah. I know.
Mm. I think Tim's now and then looks like it hasn't been opened yet.
No, mine. I haven't opened it yet. I haven't gotten around to playing.
If
I
you
just
want to
got it
open a
yesterday.
live television here, you know, and show us what you got.
No.
No.
So is that you got that at Target, right, Tim? That's a red vinyl.
Yeah, I got it at Target. It's the only place that would have it where I am. I mean,
So I didn't,
nothing else.
I really wanted to come on Thursday, when I was there, but I could. They had some kind of a family gathering Thursday.
But
The
you
wedding
did.
was Friday, but Thursday I couldn't get on here. I really wanted to get on, but so I didn't really know what everybody thought. I've heard. I get the feeling Doc really likes it.
Well, the song
like
itself.
The song and
I
the
like
video.
the video too. Yeah.
Yeah, the video. But Tim, I'm guessing you bought this. You bought it, so you must like it.
I like it. I didn't get emotional. I didn't get emotional watching the video.
Really?
It's good. I think I still don't think it's as good as Real Love. Or not Real Love. I don't like Real Love actually. Free as a Bird. Real Love is my third favorite of the three. This is now my second favorite of the three.
This is now my favorite, but I think
the reason I don't like Real Love is because they don't seem to have worked on it as much. They didn't add verses and they didn't. It's basically John's demo just with all of them on it. This got worked on. Free as a Bird got worked on. They added some verses that, and Real Love, it didn't, which is why I think I like it less.
But did anybody
it's good.
listen to the Now and Then that was extended? Like for another minute and a half that had extra
I might listen to that, but everybody, that's one of the questions. And I'm doing a show later, 3 hours from. So the thing is, I have to save a lot of stuff to. You talk about the same thing, but yeah, there's a longer version, right? And they have that line in there. I don't want to lose you. I don't want or abuse you.
I listened to it, and I agree that it's taken out. I think they did the right thing.
Yeah, that's what I would think from what I know of it. The demo, though,
mainly not because of the length or anything, but John doesn't have the lyrics down, so he's just sort of mumbling the syllables in a lot of it, and that's no good for a finished song. That, that would be why they took it out, because he's not actually singing any words, and so.
It's no surprise. Martin and I have the favorite order reversed. Believe it or not, that one then's my favorite, but I fully admit that the video really kicked it up like 100 notches. So, yeah.
Operator.
Did you see that there's a quote already by Peter Jackson saying it's conceivable that there could be more Beatles stuff? I don't know if when they asked him about this, I don't know if that means what he was been talking about in the past, right?
Well, no, hearing what they can do with this demo, I would really like Peter Jackson to work on the German stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Now, I definitely feel that now. Yeah.
now that I know what they can, if he can pull that vocal out of there, they should be able to pull the vocals and the instruments and everything else out of the Star Club stuff.
I hate to shock everybody, but by saying this, but I think they could do a Beatles album. And the thing is, you'd have to get the right material, the right stuff, and Paul would have to be on board. Ringo would have to be on, but I don't think he will. I don't think Paul would want to go there and say, "No, let's not do a whole Beatles album. That's too much."
I agree.
Well, maybe that's where they said, this is the last Beatles song. Like, after this, we're done. We're not doing any more stuff.
On the other hand, I feel like the great marketing trick was saying this is the final Beatle album. I assume that they said that 1995 also. They said that when they split up in 1970. I'm pretty sure that within 10, 15 years, we will hear another one. So I don't think that is the final one because they said it before.
I think what they mean is it's the last time that all four Beatles will be alive, and well, two of them are alive, and the other two will be working on a record. I don't think it means that there won't be stuff that's already recorded that's coming out, but this is it for them. That's what I think.
No, it's a possibility for a John Lennon album. See what he has in
well, there's things that can be done now,
But I gotta say, I think that I say that the single is actually really good. As everybody know, I'm not a huge Beatles fan, but I think they have a handful of songs that I actually like, and this one is up there. I think that "Free as a Bird" and "Real Love" was pretty boring, much to Jeff Lynne's then very boring 90s production. But I think that this is a really great song. I like the mood. I like the singing. I like the melody. And the only thing I have, the only downside is that I think the choir at times was a little bit unsynced and bad. But I think that the song overall is among the very best things I've heard by the Beatles.
I like the guitar. I like Paul doing the slide guitar, but it sounds like nostalgic, but a little spooky too, a little like emotional, bittersweet.
Well, I know when I watched the video, I kind of lost it some. So
that happened. My girlfriend twice. We watched it. I did a video, but I didn't show her on it. She heard her. She was crying and blubbering we watched it the first time in Target after we bought the record on a phone. And then when we were going home, flying home, we had a restaurant we went into at the airport. She said, "Let me see it again. I want to see it again." And she was even worse. She was like really touched by it. It really is emotional, I think.
A lot of people were saying, like, when the song came out, "Oh, I got all emotional on the song." I never got emotional on the song. So I'm reading these comments and going like, I don't get it. I don't get it. How do you cry at the song? But then when the video came out and I watched it, oh yeah.
Yeah, the video. I'd heard it was going to be a Kleenex affair. To me, it was, but not everybody, obviously.
Yeah, no, Henry. But I thought the making of video was maybe I got slightly emotional watching that just because you realize, it is the end. And that video, I don't know how Paul's touring. He could barely talk in that video. His voice is so rough. I have no idea how he's touring.
Yeah, but even in the song, you can hear him. Like if they can clean up John, clean up Paul too. Can't they do that?
You think he's going to allow that? It's one thing with the Beatles song, but I don't think he will allow that anybody clean up himself while he's still alive.
Take 80-year-old Paul and make him 40-year-old Paul. You can hear him in the background. Oh, Penny Lane! Oh,
Penny Lane! Time cue.
For you.
Yes.
Cue it.
I have so much crap here. Okay, so. That one worked. Sometimes I get it to work. The other one didn't. Okay. What's this? The end where the Beatles bowed and faded away. It's like, yeah, I kind of thought that too.
They were officially over in 1970.
Well, I don't. Now I wonder. I met a guy in my record store. Two things happened today. I'm gonna have a video of this. One record store I went in. There was a young girl. She's 20 years old. She's with her dad. She loves the new song. She's buying it. I got her on. She said, "Would you talk on the camera for my channel?" Sure. Great talk. Wait till you see that video. Probably tomorrow or something. And anyway, so she was really into it. Then I go to another store. There's a guy. He wanted me to mention his name. You can look it up. His name's Alan Rosenberg, and he's at my regular store a lot. And he said he goes to me. He's a real Stones guy. I'll try to make it quick. He goes, "Joe, I got to tell you, I heard the song." He goes, "I love the song. I love it. Oh, they did a great job. Oh, it was fantastic. The video. Oh, what a great video. He really like tripped over himself. He loved it, right?" Then he goes, "But it's not the Beatles." Now I know a lot of people watching feel the same way. We agreed to disagree. He said why he feels that people say this is the Beatles. It is not. It's Frankenstein. He went through all that, and that was his feeling. But then he said, moreover, at the end, he goes, "And what kills me is I love the new Stones album." And I said, "So do I. Greatest Stones album." He says, "It's going to take their Grammy." He goes, "I really thought the Stones would get a Grammy. Now it's going to be the Beatles." He was saying, "Oh, I think." I said, "Well, wait a minute. Maybe the Stones will get album of the year. The Beatles might get song of the year. I don't know. Who knows?"
Taylor Swift will get album of the
Yeah,
year.
Taylor Swift.
You
Be
think?
real.
You think? No. I don't know about that for sure. But we'll see. Doesn't she already have a lot of them?
Doesn't matter.
Likes more.
We'll see.
No one ever turns one down. But I was
Well,
kind of disappointed on
she's desperate for another one where she is having the top spot in the Billboard, not 1 to 10.
Oh, let her enjoy her period of time. This is her period. I know she's been around for a while yet, but this is still her framework. And I say, folks, I am sorry, I rationalize it, but I say, let's see what she does 60 years from now. That's what matters to me. Well, no, both.
It won't matter to you unless you're going to live to be a very old man.
I'll still see it. I'll still be watching her wherever I am. I'll still be watching it.
Henry's coming on to Joe again.
No. Wait a minute. Thank you. Guys, I don't want to hog this thing, but let me cover this.
Go ahead.
I just wrote it in the comments. Read the comments. He got nothing. You people don't understand. People are saying I'm a hypocrite because I always said Spotify doesn't matter. How? I don't want to insult anybody because that's the way I talk without thinking. How short-sighted, dumb can some people be? First of all, it's the same thing because they're playing 2023 on the same playing level.
Yeah.
It's 2023 release, the Beatles. 2023 release today of Taylor Swift. So if the Beatles, and somebody corrected me and said, well, actually the Beatles only in the UK got Taylor Swift for 2 days. But they did it, right? To me, see if you guys agree, and I don't want anybody agreeing for no reason, but it's the same playing field. 22 artists in 2023 have a release. They're playing by the same Spotify rules. When you take Billboard, when you take the 60s and try to compare 2023 Taylor Swift to the way the industry was in the 60s, it's not level. Yeah. So how am I contradicting myself? Honestly, I don't think I am.
The music business today in the 60s was, of course, clearly not the same.
Right.
So.
But
it's interesting to see how this will affect when Spotify will go out and have a limit for a month of playing that an artist must have in order to get royalty. That's what they're trying to do right now. Is you got to have this and this much playing on Spotify for to get a royalty, and that will make that interesting because in that case. You must sound like Drake or Taylor Swift in order to get the money. That is horrible for smaller artists.
If that happens, there will be a Supreme Court case. Somebody will take it all the way to the Supreme Court. And here's the interesting thing about that. If they lose, suddenly YouTube has no grounds to be taking music off your video because of royalties and all that if they're not paying any royalties. You see what I'm saying? It would sort of put all this kind of stuff more in the public domain, which I don't think will happen. but it's a big thing. It will go more than just Spotify if it happens.
Mm-hmm.
I certainly realize Taylor Swift has made amazing impact, major impact. I can feel the Taylor Swift craze. I am aware of it. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not denying that.
It's nuts. I looked excuse me. I looked at the Billboard 200 the other day, and Rolling Stones were third. So they didn't make number one was anybody know anybody?
Taylor Swift.
No, it wasn't.
I don't know.
Oh.
Number one album was from Blink 182.
Oh, Blink
Hey
182.
there.
I didn't know they existed actually still.
Listen, Martin. Let me tell you, Martin, you're nothing but a troll and a troublemaker. And you hate when I say that. You insulted people who didn't like the. I am telling you genuinely from my heart. I feel sad that if people don't like it. I don't feel anything. I feel sad. That's not the same as saying, you people are idiots and you people don't know what you're talking about, you dummies. That's not what I'm doing. I am telling you I'm generally sad. I'm not trying to, and I made sure I said I'm not insulting anybody. I made sure I said that. And there it is. That's exactly how I feel. What FitToBe TieDyed just said. Yeah, that's so
totally different world today, and
you had to release it as a 45 to even begin to get it
be out there.
Radio play, all this sort of. But what radio play is there on Spotify? It's on demand.
And also, that's by the way, Martin. The end of that comment. That's okay if people feel sorry for me for not liking Pet Sounds by the Beach Boys. I accept it. I own it. My little fifis aren't going to be hurt. I'm not going to go out and commit suicide over it. Okay, just grow up.
What the hell is Ringo wearing? What was that black shirt with the? What was on there? What the hell was it?
I don't know what. I didn't even notice.
I guess he's talking about when he and Paul were standing there singing. I guess
that's okay. I'll survive. My fifis won't get hurt, and I won't cancel it. Don't worry about it.
I'm also going to confess. I don't like Pet Sounds either.
There you go.
There's 3 against you, Jeff. Tim?
Yeah. I've owned the CD
4 against 1.
times.
But I admit, again, I want to say this. I can own and say I am in the vast minority on that.
It's my favorite album.
Yeah.
So I'm not.
I like
I'm
the
not going to
single.
agree with you. Clearly, it's my favorite.
No, it's Tim's favorite album, and a lot of people.
Okay.
It's one of Paul's favorite albums, if not his number one favorite album.
Oh, okay.
I mean, but I recognize that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to hit the roof. People have the right to their opinions.
Yeah.
You know, I don't like when you state as fact Pet Sounds is garbage. If you do that kind of thing, that upsets me. But you have the right not to like it.
Well, even when somebody says that, it's their opinion, but they don't word it. They don't put in my opinion, blah blah. You know.
Yeah, but I don't like. I would never say anything's garbage. I won't even say Taylor Swift is garbage. Although
it's very interesting
I
because
don't believe in that. People have the right to like whatever they like, and you shouldn't insult other people.
Very interesting because you have actually music is very much about opinions. We all have different kind of tastes, but there are certain genres, certain albums that you as a record collector actually are supposed to like in order to be calling yourself record collector. And if you go against that, then you will get a negative reaction from it. That is, I don't understand it.
Yeah. Well, I do not have a copy of Herb Alpert Wind Cream. I don't have one.
You guys don't have to show this or anything, but that's kind of part of the reason I started this silly thing. Is to open people. You don't have to. Because to open people's eyes up. You know what I mean? Too because I like this doesn't make me a bad person. It doesn't make me weird. It doesn't. But we all have our own tastes. That's what started it.
Tim, if somebody says, Tim Allen, Partridge Family suck. That album sucks by them. That's not in any way insulting you. It's insulting the music. But if you take it that way, I'm playing like Dr. Wayne Dyer. Does anybody know Dr. Wayne Dyer wrote a book Pulling Your Own Strings?
He must be dead by now.
You know, it's people like actually, if they allow people's comments to bother them, you know.
I get that, but like I said, I was just I just started that whole thing to open people's minds that there are other things besides Led Zeppelin and Rolling Stones and Yellow and whatever else, Fleetwood Mac and the Eagles. You know, to open people's minds that there are other things that you can listen to that are actually quite good.
Because I'm one of the few in the vinyl community who, I guess I'm one of the few who actually can go out and say, I'm a record collector, obviously, but I dislike. I think that I can openly say that I think Pink Floyd is one of the most boring things there is. I think that Creedence Clearwater Revival is also boring. I think that Stones, I have never ever been interested in the Stones. I think they're overrated. I'm one of the few who says that openly. But I respect people's respects. I never talk bad about anybody who goes against my opinions, because there is their music, it's their kind of opinion, and they really should be honored for having that opinion.
Yeah.
I know. As George said, everybody is entitled to their own.
Something that FitToBe TieDyed said earlier, I'm sorry, is I don't know if it was highlighted. I missed it. I kind of agree. Well, it was up higher. Well, I don't want you to go crazy. He says, I'm going out on a limb and say that if they, well, this is what I always say. I agree. If the Beatles had streaming in the '60s, if they had Spotify, iTunes, streaming, they went album, all the tracks on the album could be a potential hit. The Beatles would clean up. You know, Taylor Swift would be in 2023 would be like that still compared to the Beatles. So that's not an that's an even playing field. But it is an even playing field if Taylor Swift has a song in 2023, Beatles have a new song in 2023, and they're both playing by Spotify rules.
Yeah.
I would say I would hazard to guess that at least every song on every album from probably the Beatles' second album in America through Pepper would have hit the top 10. Every single one of them.
Every song.
If we were playing by today's rules. The first two albums, maybe not. And then, well, and if you count Magical Mystery Tour, Magical Mystery Tour 2, actually. Well, maybe not Flying. See, there's one. And then the White Album, a couple might not. Certainly number 9 or Revolution number 9 wouldn't have hit the top 10. And, but it's not. You can't. It's apples and oranges.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
You had to release a physical single back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how my old radio charts used to, like by radio play, record sales, and listener requests.
And until the mid 70s, minimum radio play was mostly AM, which meant pretty much 100% 45s. AM rarely played an album track, and the reason they didn't is because they would forget to change the speed on their turntable when they went back to 45s. So rather than to take that chance, they would just always play 45s.
Yeah.
Until they had to go to the bathroom, then they put Stairway to Heaven on.
Or Hey Jude or
something.
MacArthur Park or something like that. That's a longie.
You always had a long song just in case for bowel movements.
So that's what I would do when I was a DJ. Now, how many songs get Taxi or get, so, oops, I got to, rip the wire. I got to put on a long song. That's what I would do.
Yeah. Wow. Paradise by the Dashboard Light was
the long version.
Was my big wee wee song. I probably had another one because I know I went more than once. I DJ'd for 6 hours. I know I went more than one, but I can't remember what other one was.
What? Ringo on Blue Peter promoting his furniture?
I think I saw something like that. Yeah, there was some kind of a video from that era of Ringo. It has the Ringo look that I like from Bangladesh.
Let's just say that
I've got a spot for you here, Paul.
Yeah, you can come up with this and talk about that.
Let's just say, Paul, I have that to many people in the streaming vinyl community, so I'm used to it. Hi, Christopher.
I haven't seen a US CD release. I think if it's out in America, they're just shipping over the UK ones.
Your imports.
I don't think there is an actual UK. I haven't seen that. That hasn't been proved.
I hope so. Mm-hmm.
I mean, you might be able to get it here, but I think it's still the same European release. It's not.
It's just shipped here. It's not.
Yeah. You know, that's not a U.S. release. Just because you can get it here doesn't make it a U.S. release.
I thought vegetables was stupid.
It's kind of silly. Yeah.
Stupidly. Yeah, we went from fun, and all this to vegetables.
The vegetables.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's got Paul McCartney chewing on it, so that's good.
Yeah. Oh, now we're gonna have Jessica. Now.
Okay.
I'll stay on, but don't put me next to Jorgen.
Okay.
Good.
Who's down there?
Just reach across there, let him have it.
Yeah, just like reach through.
Too funny.
Yeah.
Sucks to be you.
Oh.
Boy.
But how many people have vegetables in their record collection?
Vegetables.
I'm sure I do some.
No.
I don't have Smiley Smile, I don't think, but I'm sure it's on.
I have music in my record collection.
I've got the one
I have
Beach
Smile,
Boys.
so of course I have it.
Greatest hits comp, and it's not on there. It wasn't necessarily a hit. It was just an
I heard
album track.
vegetables on Pop Goes the 60s on his Beach Boys.
Oh yeah, me too.
And it played that and going like, no wonder this album sucks. And here's the song Vegetables. Oh, come on.
It's a piece. I will say this about Smile. Sometimes I like Smile better than Pet Sounds, which would make it my favorite album of all time, which is why I generally don't say that I do. But it's a piece. You don't pull a song off of Smile and listen to it.
Yeah, but there were too many pieces.
You sit down and you listen to the whole thing. It's not.
Yeah.
It doesn't work piecemeal at all.
Look out, Jeff. You're in Comedy King.
What is it?
Way up to the #1 spot.
What is it?
Don't tell Larry Graves.
Okay.
We don't want that to happen.
High quality entertainment. That's what we are.
Yes.
Higher quality entertainment. Yeah.
Higher. I mean,
Phew. Well, anyway, yeah, that Smile didn't do anything for me. Like Mr. Pop Goes to the 60s playing.
Smile, I will admit, is a multiple.
It sounded like a lot of notes in no particular order.
Yeah.
And I know that people don't like to multiple listens, and I get that.
No.
If you do, and there's a lot of versions of Smile too. You have to listen. Some of them are terrible.
Well, I do. I do multiple listens for things that I always say I'm personally invested in or I have an interest in. But you know, if I listen to Smile once, twice, I say it's not for me. Say, you know, I don't have any reason to keep listening. But I might play a Ringo album 4 or 5 times.
Smile. I used to think that too. And the thing that turned me around on it is I saw Brian Wilson perform it live. And that changed my opinion. I'm like, this is amazing.
I have the Brian Wilson Smile CD.
Yeah.
I enjoy it.
Yeah, and if you bought this deluxe CD, it came with a DVD of a live performance, and it's really good. Paul was there and brought his whole band. He wanted them to see Smile.
Oh no!
Crickets.
Should I do the album of the week?
Yeah. Or having a low point.
Yeah. Speaking about Beatles, though, the album of the week is
There you go. Is that what language is that? Oh, it's German. Is it?
Oh gosh, I don't know.
That's Henchy before he went solo.
Hangover. Yeah, the Hangover group.
I thought that was the Dolls in that Butcher cover album before they got butchered.
Yeah, meat and everything.
Family over. That could have multiple meanings to it.
what is this? Brian is like Paul, but clearly the guy fried his brain on drugs. It's not the smartest move for longevity.
This is
And
true.
he's still alive too, though.
Yeah,
still living.
that's surprising
I
actually.
have to
Yeah.
say Paul is also alive.
Yeah.
And
Wait,
Both are alive.
I haven't asked Paul how many times he's heard Now and Then.
Twice.
Twice.
Okay.
I think that's the least, right? Because I said 12.
Well, I
Mhm.
said last time I'm deliberately not playing it because I want to hear it when I get the record and
Okay.
Yeah.
hear it properly.
Yeah.
So I played the song and then I played the video. That's it.
Yeah.
Did you cry?
I thought the video was moving. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah. The end was really moving.
Moved a lot.
Yeah, it was really quite moving. As I made a comment earlier, I saw something this morning with Paul McCartney playing live with I've Got a Feeling. And for John's part, they played the video of John singing on the rooftop.
yeah,
So
he's
Paul
been
was
doing
actually
that for a
singing
while.
with John. It was really cool.
Yeah.
Right.
Well done.
Yeah, he's been
Yeah.
doing that for a while.
That was a Peter Jackson thing. Peter Jackson actually.
Yeah. Peter Jackson isolated that video and called Paul up one day and said, "Hey, Paul, how would you like to do a
You
duet with John?"
you can't
And he's
hear,
like,
you
"What?"
can't hear the only thing you hear is John's voice. You don't hear any of the Beatles instruments. It's just
Right.
John,
Yeah.
right? It was. I thought it was. I'd never seen that before. It was really cool.
Yeah,
Mhm.
no, he's been doing that a couple years. I think you can watch a video on YouTube. It was there of the first
Yeah, I
time
saw him.
he
I saw
ever
him
did
in
it.
2019, and
Mhm.
he didn't have that technology then. But yeah, I thought it was really well done. I like that.
Yeah.
It made me think about what else can they do with this technology. Like to me, there's
Yeah.
not just Beatles, but there's a lot of stuff out there that the sound quality isn't so great
Mhm.
that they could definitely, improve the sound. And I'm thinking a lot of live concerts and stuff like that. And even taking like Robert Johnson's original recordings, how they sound like he's singing in a can, right? Which he was. They could even improve all that stuff. It would be awesome. Like the stuff they can do is just the endless possibility.
Yeah, it's getting me interested too.
It's not AI. It's just taking what they've already got and improving the sound.
Right.
And I think, man, there's just an infinite possibilities there. I hope they make good use of that.
It is AI, but it's not AI in a bad way.
Well, you mean
It's
technically?
artificial intelligence identifying each little
Well, it's
part
not
of the
AI
song
in
and
the
making
sense
a
that
separate track out of it.
it's not AI in the sense that AI is creating the music. It's not.
No.
Not
But it
at
is
all.
using artificial intelligence to separate the tracks.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't know if that's actually artificial intelligence or just technology.
Well,
Anyway,
he always goes by it's a form of AI, I guess, right? But
Yeah,
the mal
yeah.
technology, what is
Yeah.
that meaning? And I keep memorizing it, but I can't remember. Music assisted something. I can't remember what it is. It's something that he developed.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm really hoping that they
Even Pauline is doing it at home.
See,
Yeah.
the thing is, we've still got all the original recordings, so for purists they can have that, but for the rest of us who want to hear things maybe fresher or better,
Mhm.
we're getting the ability.
There's a market for it. Don't worry.
The problem
So far,
with
they
it
will use
at this
it, but
point,
so far they will use the technology for the market. But soon enough, when the market becomes big, it's going to be a technology that everybody wants to use because to cut to the market.
I think they'll create the market. They're not
Peter
going to wait for
Jackson
people to want it.
owns it.
They're
And
going
would
to
have
dangle
to
the
give it
carrots,
up.
and they'll create the market for it. If they embrace this stuff.
We're only in the beginning of the technology, so
now it's only Peter Jackson. So if he doesn't want to market it or something, then that's it. That's
But if it exists, somebody else will discover and go like, "Oh, here's the Mel technology."
Well, I'm sure
here comes the new.
It would have to be different because I'm sure he's got it, heavily.
Well, if Jackson's figured it out, somebody else will figure it out too.
Right.
Time. So it's not going
Aren't they doing that same kind of technology on the new Emerson, Lake and Palmer tour?
And right now it's really expensive.
There's only one member alive.
Marketed and the prices well, then
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, interesting.
Yeah, so we're It's going to bring back Gilbert Gottfried. No, everybody else.
Oh dear, yeah.
Affleck.
Yeah. Come on, guys. Yeah.
But anybody who's dead and had some, like Walt Disney will be back.
Have another Elvis concert, another Michael Jackson concert.
Elvis will be back. Elvis will be
I'm
back.
pretty sure that if or should I say, when the Beatles song becomes a huge success on the playing chart, hit charts, whatever you would like to call it, you will see this be spilled over to multiple other nowadays dead slash the split bands that they will try to squeeze money out of, as they have done with this kind of when they're having computerized concerts. They will try to do the same technology with other deceased artists. A new Michael Jackson song coming up, a new Elvis song coming up, and so on and so on.
Well, they hit a home run by using the Beatles to introduce this technology. Like you couldn't have made a better choice, because it's going to sell regardless.
Yeah,
right?
That's the thing.
So, if they'd have done this with some group, out of the early 70s that one-hit wonders, nobody would care. But the fact that it was the Beatles means that this is going to get attention. It's going to get noticed. So
get ready for the new Three Dog Night album. It's coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they have to be able to sell physical media, or it's not worth doing it. Because otherwise, what you're gonna spend all this money to do this, and then just put it on a streaming platform and not make any money.
If the streaming platform is big enough and has enough viewers, they might. But as long as there are more market and more money to make in a physical media, it will be coming out. But if the streaming point is big enough and makes more money of it, then it might be doing it only on the streaming.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, because I think people stream whether there's something new on there or not. It's just what people do now.
Streaming is still the giant, and we're still getting physical media, so I'm not sure that that's going to matter.
That's because we care about physical media. The kids
our generation, but the younger generation is embracing it now too. So I think the torch is going to be passed to the next generation. They're get into physical media as much as we are. I'm sure.
Yeah, I have that video I shot today. I was telling them about, where I'll put it up tomorrow, where a 20-year-old girl that loves the Beatles and the Stones and other people, the Doors, and her dad was with her. Her dad kind of brought her up that way, so she's there holding the new 12-inch version of Now and Then. She's buying it, and so I realize they're probably the minority.
Isn't that emo girl that has a VC channel that started the whole thing by criticizing?
Yeah, the prog girl, right? Is that the one that she always does prog stuff?
Prog girl.
I don't know this one.
Yeah.
But
my record store, I go to that, and there's always young people in there.
Yeah. Well, I do too.
It's not an old guy's game anymore.
Yeah.
I was at a record fair a couple of years ago, and saw a 10-year-old girl asking for Guns N' Roses in first pressing, and I felt like, yes, future is safe.
Right.
Well, it is a niche thing.
I was just going to say, I still think it's a niche to their peers. If you go in the school,
it completely is. Because when we were kids, probably 50 to 75% of our friends all bought records and music and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Now, the kids are going to be lucky if 5% of their friends are.
Well, it's like the young Beatles fans themselves are in a minority. Not most of the young kids aren't Beatles people, but some are.
Yeah.
But it's enough.
It's start somewhere, and the point I'm making is it is growing. Like, it's not going the other way. There are more and more getting into it, so it's got to start somewhere, and I think 5%, if that's accurate, is really good. So the only way is up, right? So
it made my day when you see that video. If anybody watches the video when I put it up, it's a short video, but it just made my day hearing her talk, her excitement for this, and everything. It was
like a hallelujah moment.
Yeah, that's that Nim the prog girl or whatever. Is that the one? Anyway,
no, this girl, she doesn't have a channel or anything. This is just a girl that was shopping with her father in the record store.
Oh, okay.
and she was just buying the new. I recorded her.
The problem with the problem with physical media today, it might be that they're using still record companies is using it like it's some kind of a collecting stuff with high prices and a few records in the store that and it's not as common media today as it was back then. Today still is a collecting stuff that you buy for collecting, not something you buy for just.
Well, it'll never get back to where it was when I was in high school. I don't think that'll ever happen, but it's supply and demand. As more people get into it, the prices will come down. It's
and
it's
that's
very
the
expensive.
majors.
That's
the majors. There's more every day. There's more and more little record companies popping up, little record labels, and they're not they're charging less than the majors. Some of them considerably less, and you got to get it online because local stores aren't going to stock it. But I think that's the future. I think it's the little labels. You know, I think we're down to 3 major labels. I think that might even shrink. It's all going to go.
Stuff, you know, like digitally, you say, "Oh, I've got the new Taylor Swift." You can't say, "I've got it," because you've got nothing to show.
Yeah.
It's like air.
On your phone, yeah.
Air. You know, and a lot of that roughly 2 or 3 weeks ago, my computer went. So like all the files I had are gone, but
all that music you bought gone.
My physical media.
Yeah.
You know, because to further this, because the major labels, they're all about money, right? I mean, they're all about money. So if they put something out, they gotta hire artists, they gotta record it, they gotta, get everything done and blah blah blah. And it costs a lot of money, and if it doesn't sell, they're stuck, right? But if they get a smaller label and go, look, we'll license this album for, let's say, 10 grand. Let's just throw a number out there and give you 10% of our profits, and it's going to take them a lawyer an hour to draw up the contract. Why wouldn't they do that instead of putting all this resources? And I mean, I think that's the direction it's going.
See, this comment here is fine, but it's opinion, and
name is what it is.
In 2017, Sgt. Pepper was the biggest selling album, followed by number 2, which was Abbey Road.
And the decade of the 2000s, the one album sold the most of it.
I've been hearing this thing about Beatle fandom is shrinking.
Exactly.
I've been hearing this since 1970.
Yeah, there you go. I was going to say we're agreeing on a lot of things here.
When they broke up, I started hearing this.
I heard it in 1976. People were busting my chops.
I heard this all through high school.
Yeah,
I heard it all through university, and here we are. Right.
That one.
So
mine's in there.
It's amazing. I heard it.
I know still the number 1 downloaded song since downloading began is Here Comes the Sun.
One was the biggest selling album in 2000.
Well, the whole decade.
And at that point, the newest song on it was 30 years old.
Yeah.
So, I kind of look at that stuff as
it makes me laugh. Us people that have been around longer, we've seen it all, like you said. I mean, I remember people when Kiss was just coming up, and Kiss was huge, like Taylor Swift. It's all about Kiss, all about Kiss. Wait, the Beatles are finished. They broke up 6 years ago. Enough of that. 6 years ago, they broke up.
Wow.
Martin. You young people. I don't know.
I mean, took off.
It never really took off again. It's never. There's resurgences of it. Yeah, after.
Yeah. I mean, it after the Beatles broke up, it kind of waned a little bit, and then 67 to 70 and 62 to 66 came out. They were on the charts and the top 200 for over 2 years. Straight. And then in 76, Got to Get You Into My Life got to be a number 7 hit in the U.S. I mean, it's been happening ever since.
Lisa's point right there is really, really valid. The fact that they're bringing new people, and the Beatles have always done that. And so I think that's a really valid point. And, you know, again, it's not going to be like it was when I was first started buying records, and never get back to that. But, you know, classic rock, what we call classic rock, that's what the kids are buying. And the Beatles were a big part of that, you know. So I just look at what I see going on in the record stores around where I live. And, you know, that's I mean, that's kind of what you see, right? So
yeah, I see the same thing. A lot of kids buying physical media. Not everybody in their school.
No.
But
thanks again.
Yeah, I don't have mine handy. You don't want me to stand up.
Mine's in there.
Robert sent me that. That's why. Thank you, Robert.
Oh, that album is so last week. No, I'm kidding. Because I love the album. As I say, I really love the album.
The Bullets, yeah, I know. I wasn't supposed to like the Beatles in high school either. You know, I was supposed to be into all these prog rock stuff.
I still miss Suzanne Summers.
Yeah.
But that's fine.
But you know, it is amazing. It really is. And even in the record store, I mean, because I notice when I hang out there, a lot of times the young people, they go into the Beatles section, too.
Yeah.
Maybe it's out of curiosity, though.
No, that's who they hear about, the Beatles.
Yeah.
But you got to hear this girl talk. The show girl in the video, she was saying how she saw Yellow Submarine just recently with her girlfriends, and they were like blown away by what they felt was ahead of their time, that cartoon, the imagery was, and everything. It was like beyond the 60s, and stuff like that. They're into it. They see it.
Well, that's true too, Dusty. Like this. Yeah. This is like an expanded Red and Blue. There's more material.
Hope so.
To like, so you get 3 records to. It's like a giant size sampler, right? So like, boy, I'm gonna check out that Help album. Yeah, maybe. So.
Yeah.
Better get Rubber Soul ready.
My wife teaches in a high school, and she's always coming home. Kids are asking her they're quizzing me through my wife, right? So she'll come home and say, well, so-and-so asked me about this, and they wondered if you knew about it. And of course, I'd give them the whole history of it. So that tells me that kids in high school are learning about this stuff. They know about this stuff. They know about the music I grew up with because they're asking my wife questions about it. Right. So, to say that the group, the fan base is dying out, I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure about that.
Well, it's good that we hear that we have come some way from when kids were saying, "Who's that old guy who stands next to Kanye West?" To this, it's a step in the right direction.
But I'm not about to buy any Tony Bennett albums.
I did. I bought a couple. Greatest hits and best of, but I got a couple.
Kind of again an apples and oranges thing, because I think our generation grew up and like music was we identified ourselves through the music we listened to. That was our identity, right? I don't think it was that way for our parents, at least my parents. That generation, they didn't embrace music the same way we did. And I think the reason we embraced it is because it was so accessible, right? It was, we were the first generation. If you grew up in the 60s and 70s, you're really the first generation where music was highly accessible, right? And so it became part of our identity. And that's why I think people get upset, the whole Stones versus Beatles thing. People would actually get upset if you like the Beatles better than you like the Stones, because they identified so strongly with the Stones. They took that on as part of their identity, right? So I think they took it personally.
Interesting thing is that I think that generation who was in the older times, and older times I mean 30s and 40s, they listened. Many of them listened to jazz, and then it was the genre you were identified with. Either you were a big band, or you were bebop, or you were regular swing. Then when it came to rock, then you got into identify yourself with artists instead. The problem is today music is more, with streaming, more or less music today is something you have in the background when you're studying, when you're working, when you're partying, when you're dishing, more or less.
In the elevator.
You don't identify yourself with anything today. because his music is so easy to get a hold of. So it's just streaming everywhere you go.
Yeah.
For the most part, until rock and roll, kids listen to the same music their parents did. For the most part, there are exceptions, but the same kind of music anyway. And rock and roll changed things, and that makes a huge difference. That's why, people in 1960 weren't listening to Caruso, because it changed things. And why people now are still listening to music 60 years old, but they weren't then because
popular music became accessible. And it started with the guys, the first generation rockers in the 50s, right? And then when the 60s hit, it became industrialized, for lack of a better word, and it just became even more accessible. And so, look at, Tim, you're the right generation. Like, how many record stores were there? I mean, they were all over the place, right? Back in those days.
Oh yeah.
They were all over the place. Well, that's a reflection of what people were into, right?
But even in the 50s and the 40s, there was a lot of record stores, and they sold records at other places too, like drugstores sold 78s,
department stores,
grocery stores sold 78s, and
Yeah, not to the same degree that what I saw in the 60s and 70s.
No, in the 60s, everybody. I live in this small little town. There was 35,000 people living there then, and there were probably, without an exaggeration, at least 20 places I could go and buy a record.
Yeah. Yep.
At least.
Yeah, easy. Yep. Easy. I mean, we used to go to Toronto. We did day trips to Toronto.
Face Drugs had a fantastic record department. It's a drugstore. It rivaled anybody else, and probably more than that. Now I think about it, probably 30 or 40. Every department store had a record department. There were record stores.
We used to go to Toronto, and we walk up and down Yonge Street, and you can go 200 feet without hitting a record store. Like, they were just all over the place. It was unbelievable. And that was
still a bunch in the 80s. I went to Toronto in the early 80s once, and I went to Vox was an interesting store, which was off Yonge. You got like Yonge turned or something, and there was Vox. It was this little tiny place, but it was interesting.
Vox. Don't they make
it? I'm shopping at Box.
No, Vox, like the amplifier. VOXX.
Oh,
VOX.
Yeah, but you can Sam the Record Man and A&A.
Vinyl Museum, Mr. Green said exactly. The Vinyl Museum was awesome.
And the last time I walked down Yonge Street, it was like
there was some
souvenir stores.
There was some huge store where the whole 2 floors and the whole top floor was 45s. I was mesmerized.
Can I address this issue about Beatles overrated and the one album? I'm a little mixed up. Henry and Martin are saying this. Like, I'd like to play Revolution 9 as someone who says the Beatles are overrated to watch their reaction. I'm thinking, you mean by overrated? I mean, I don't think Revolution 9 is going to appeal to most people. I think what you mean is they're not just twee. You want to show they're not just bubblegum. That's what you mean, right? Like, they're not just like Love Me Do, I Want to Hold Your Hand, and that kind of thing. But I wonder how many people listen to that, young people otherwise. Like Henry said earlier, somewhere, the one album, and they listen to the one album, he said, and they feel they're overrated by the one album. Yeah. I don't know how in the world, I mean, could you even say that?
Song on that is a #1 hit. How can you say?
Yeah. Hey, Doc.
So you're saying that everybody that bought those 45s worldwide was wrong, is what you're saying?
I'm having a little emergency here. I'm gonna have to run.
Okay. Sorry, Jeff.
Okay, see y'all later. I'll let you know. Okay, bye.
Oklahoma.
I can since I'm going to be here not for long. I have to go shorter this since I'm going to work tomorrow. I can start by showing my huge bunch of 45.
I thought you were going to go off to listen to a Stones album.
Nice try, buddy. Nice try.
If Emotional Rescue, that's probably the one you listen to, right?
Oh, no, not that one.
But Mess It Up is a great song on that album. I have to give it that.
Oh, it's great. I love it.
First of all, there's a thrift store in Sundsvall here where I live that has been shutting down now, and they had 75% sell-off. So I bought a whole bunch of 45s.
So Jorgen bought out the store.
I bought out the store and a whole bunch of 45s that may not look all that good. I've shown before they have a writing on the cover, but I'm not picky when it comes to 70s.
Can't play the covers.
That's true.
No, exactly.
Here we go. Here we go again.
Robin Gibb.
Covers are also nice.
Robin Gibb, Juliet. This is disco classic. E.D. Jackson, Automatic Lover. A lot of soul here. This is interesting. This is Sissy Houston, Whitney's mother.
Don't know
it. Sissy. She's on Family Affair.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I couldn't think of a last name.
Houston.
No, from the Family Affair.
This is a band that I have started to like more and more this year. This is a very early recording by City Boy. It is Surgery Hours, Doctor Doctor.
There you go.
City Boy.
10cc. Mandy Fly With Me.
At least they're having fun on the sleeve.
Amazing. They had about 245s in America. That's it.
A lot of hair.
This is Alan Parsons. Alan Parsons. I don't know what it says. Doesn't say project, but
Wouldn't want to be like that. That's a great tune.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really good tune.
We have a Four Tops. The show must go on. This is one of those that doesn't say which A and which is B, but
is that the Three Dog Night? They did a song called The Show.
I was just thinking. I wonder if it's the same song.
Oh, it's the same song, yeah.
This has nothing to do with the Queen song. This is Brecker Brothers, some more funky jazz soul. Damn, focusing. You got to give it.
The Brecker Brothers, huh? That's say George Martin produced?
No, George Duke.
Oh, George Duke, okay.
More 10cc. Life is a Minestrone.
Yeah. See, that should have been a hit in America.
That's what I feel. I feel Life is a Minestrone.
Elton John and Kiki D. Don't Go Breaking My
Heart.
I remember that.
I know you're talking my language. That's a big hit when I was a kid.
It's autographed by Chris. Awesome.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah. It is the DJ that previously owned it.
Chris 76.
Yeah.
The only good thing is that you don't have to look on the album to know when the record is from, because he has written it. David Bowie, Young Americans.
Wow, weird B-side.
Yeah, I think B-side is better than the A-side.
Yeah, but I mean, a B-side from like 2 or 3 years earlier, it's an odd B-side.
Yeah. I paid $1.50 for this one.
Ah, somebody Googled Sissy Houston.
I have 2 albums by Sissy Houston. She's really great. Soul music, soul funk music with a touch of gospel in it.
Ah, okay.
There you go.
Tavares, Straight for the Heart. Never wrong with 70s funk soul.
Chris likes a lot of stuff.
Oh, I remember Tavares.
Don't get scared of this one. I was a little bit hesitating about this because this cover even looked so bad enough for me. But I felt like for 50 cents, I couldn't leave it behind because this is such a good song. And the single is great condition. Squeeze, debut single, Take Me On Yours.
Oh, yeah, you can't leave that behind? No.
That's
So,
great.
but the single itself is such a great shape, so I had to have it.
I was wondering if it was pressed on red vinyl, because in America, the album was pressed on red vinyl, but no.
I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have gotten it for 50 cents back then. Now we're coming to a couple cults.
Sesame Street? What?
Sesame
Hmm.
Street
I
Fever.
can't believe that was released as a single. I have that album.
I have no idea what this was, but as I am a collector of stuff that are so bad that it actually makes you laugh, I had to get it. Mike Harding Disco Vampire.
Holy cow!
It
I bet
only
it's
cost me
rough.
50 cents, so why not?
It's worth
Hey,
it for the sleeve.
My goodness.
Scaffold Pike, which was a Scottish band. They had some Scottish members in it, and they had some great 70s hits.
Got a mountain on it.
Folk pop music stuff. And Olivia Newton-John.
You got the whole Chris record selection.
Yeah, another one from Chris.
All of them are from Chris.
Ooh, well, you and Chris should get together.
No, he gave away his entire collection, or should I say, I think he died. So it was his family who gave it to that thrift store. It was totally written on every record, and on the full length, they wanted as much as $15 from some of them, even though it was written and in horrible shape. So, but those are.
That's the thing. It's tough to get records in good shape from DJs because if they're playing them 7 nights a week.
No kidding.
Yeah.
And I assume that he has written this because it's easier for him to find when it's out DJing. So I understand it, but I don't like it.
Yeah.
Dr. Hook, Who Dat? From 78.
I don't mind when they write on just generic sleeves like that. Picture sleeves is a little worse.
Yeah.
Grab it.
Natalie Cole, once again, who is what? I think this is the A side. I've got Love on My Mind, Natalie Cole from 70s.
In mid-70s with that label on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this one I was really happy to get a hold of. This is Isaac Hayes with theme from Shaft.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
And
Just died.
Once again, I was hesitating because the cover looked like this.
Ah.
Oh,
So, but normally I wouldn't take a record from its original cover and put it in one of these. But here was an emergency.
yeah.
Well, yeah,
Okay.
no, I just get a plastic outer sleeve, slip both halves of the cover in there, and put that record in there like that, and you're good.
I'm just happy to have this single in my collection.
Kind of take a whole lot of Scotch tape.
No, I wouldn't
take
take. I
it for
just
the
leave
entire album.
things as they are.
I was showing Elton John and Kiki D. This is Kiki D on her own, but with Elton John as a producer.
Ah,
What? It's not I Got the Music in Me? She's got another one?
I got the music in me.
Yeah, this is a song
Yeah,
like-
yeah, Doc. Her I Got the Music in Me. It just had 12 different I Got the Musics in Me over and over again.
Amoros.
We had one song.
And finally, and when it comes to 45s, another Dr. Hook, we have Walk Right In.
Sit right down?
That can't be that song. No, that's the older Pork Right.
And I also got for 50 cent King Oliver with 20 skips.
Papa Joe.
Didn't
So
Louis
we've been having
Armstrong
a
start
ball.
out in King Oliver's band?
Pardon?
Wasn't Louis Armstrong in King Oliver's band for a while?
I think Louis Armstrong has said that King Oliver was his mentor and teacher. He has praised him for giving him the career, actually.
Yeah, I think he was in the actual band for a while.
Yeah, he started in King Oliver's band.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Yeah, I thought so.
But he has credited King Oliver for his career many times. So that is, I've been having a ball this week. So
Just imagine what you're going to get for your birthday.
yeah, I bought those final singles here. I actually bought today when they were closing up today. So I got these today as a birthday present for myself.
My doctor said I need to get more exercise, so JorgenS has inspired me to buy 45s.
There you go.
Well, I have the record player here, so I only need to click on working.
Hey, Tom's Vinyl Shack. Hello.
Hello, Tom's Vinyl
Hey,
Shack.
Tom.
Yeah. Use the link.
Now I'm
Come on
going
up,
to
you
go
got a
to
square.
I'm going to go to bed because I'm going up to work tomorrow. So
Work. Ew.
Work. What's that?
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
recognize work though.
See you, Jorgen.
take care, folks.
See ya.
Bye-bye,
Bye-bye.
Jorgen. Have a
Rock
good
on
day.
phones.
If Jeff was here, he would say we have 2 open spots.
Yes. The link
Yeah, I
is
hope that's
there.
okay. Everything's okay there.
Yeah.
Oh, Tom's having some trouble with the shopping. Like he went to Target for now and then Red Vinyl. All they had was shit.
I mean, it's amazing. I
went
got
to
some
Target
comments.
for now and
People
then, and
upset
all
with
they had
me.
was this.
Yeah.
How much did that cost him, by the way?
You know, all I wanted was the
$20, which isn't a
black
bargain.
vinyl, and you think I could
You
find
can't
it?
get the black vinyl.
Black 7-inch. I had to order from the website, the Beatles website, to get it. It's like, come on, this should be the one that you should have no trouble getting.
Yeah, and who the hell knows when you're even going to get it?
Well,
They-
it's been shipped. I know that. But
Yeah, I got something like that too, but they don't tell you when when you're going to get it. Estimated.
They got
Yeah.
almost like call around and like, have you got this in stock?
it's got to cross an ocean and a country to get to me, so I'll have it by Christmas, maybe.
Although, wait a minute. Today's Sunday. I have not been back to. I had my mail on hold at the post office. Assuming it's going to go. I don't know if it's going to go into the post office, but I got to go tomorrow and pick up whatever might be there. But I think I would have gotten a notice from them saying it arrived or something. They said they shipped it, but I don't know. Didn't say it arrived.
I know Murph got all his stuff.
Oh yeah, that's incredible. You got everything. I mean, I wasn't going to do it this time. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. This time, I love
Marv
the song.
buys bulk, so they give him priority.
Yeah.
Bulk
Yeah.
shipment.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gets a discount. He gets a bulk discount.
He gets a bulk discount. Mark's his gets delivered on a skid.
Actually, I think Paul goes to his house and delivers it. Or Ringo.
Could be.
Tom went to his regular record store. They had tons of 7 and 12 inch.
I don't have a regular record store. So.
Yeah, well, like I said earlier, if anybody missed it, you never know because they have record stores around here, and I usually just buy everything at the store. But I ordered from the Beatles site, and the ones I ordered, they got in the record store. So.
Well.
Great, Jimmy Page. Yeah. But we must be getting now and then out by now. Hangover or something like that.
It's almost there for me.
I've only listened to it twice. I'm okay.
Yeah, I listened to it 4 times only. Well, between the video twice and the song itself twice. And I'm going to do the show. We're going to do the show in a couple of an hour and a half, and I'm going to go through this all over again.
Henry's wondering why Jimmy and Robert Plant haven't been mated by now. Well, the Queen's gone. She can't do that anymore.
Well, the King can do it.
I don't think he's interested.
He's more likely to do it than Elizabeth would.
I suppose, but. Oh, Tom, what do you mean Jimmy Page least productive?
Well, he hasn't been really prolific, that's for sure. He hasn't done a lot.
No.
What was it he worked on? The James Bond movie early? In his
career.
In
his early days.
He did everything.
It's hard to buy a record by any 60s band without him on it somewhere. I mean, in his early days, he was on everything.
I haven't played it yet, I confess. Well, there's reasons for it. I'm in the apartment. I like to crank it. I like to wait till they're gone. And also, at the top of my turntable, I have a bunch of things stacked on it. The plastic cover, but not, I got to get all that off. It's like, yeah.
No Goldfinger?
Goldfinger.
What do you mean Jeff left because it was insecure Paul was gaining on his comedy crowd?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
No
No.
danger of that.
No.
Love me do. Oh, Doc, you were saying with the B side of this thing is the "Love Me Do" with Ringo on the drums. Is that you the one who said it's the version? Somebody said it's a version they don't like with
The
is it you?
version I don't
"Love
like.
Me Do."
I don't like that. No, I don't.
Very nervous sounding on that.
Well, yeah. Well, Paul said
Yes.
in interviews that he was nervous, scared because they weren't doing it that way. And George Martin says, "Well, because John's going to be playing harmonica, he can't sing, so you're going to have
Yes.
to do it." And Paul's like, "Oh." Yeah, they never rehearsed it that way or anything.
It was very bass heavy. I only played it once. Again, I don't like Paul here says. I don't like listening to. I prefer to hear the real release, the physical release. But I had to listen to it on my phone. "Love Me Do," and I thought it was very bass heavy when I first heard it. I mean, extra. Of course, they boost up the bass now.
Is the Ringo version rare in the U.S. because it's not in Canada?
No, it was a single. Wasn't it on a single in Canada?
I think in the U.S. the single was the album version, not that it sold.
In Canada, we had the single.
Yeah, I mean the first time it was widely available in the U.S. wasn't until Rarities.
Really?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that was in 1980.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow, I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Yeah, how can you lose the master tape? It happens all the time.
Then it was on Past Masters was the second place.
Yeah. Right. So it's not considered rare anymore, I guess. But
no, but
it may have sounded okay, but when it got to the singing, it just went, "Oh no, not that one." So
I prefer the other one. I like Andy White's cymbal crash in the musical interlude part.
Yeah, it's not my go-to of "Love Me Do." What are you doing here?
The tambourine makes it.
You got that expert tambourine in it.
Even Paulina can make a better "Love Me Do" than Giles can. So, yeah. And a lot of people aren't.
I liked Giles. I liked it a lot. It had a lot of air and space and depth, and I liked it a lot.
Did you hear there's a new Beatles song?
Jeez. Everything's missing. Jeez.
Yeah.
All the cops.
Well, they accidentally threw it all out. It's just kind of stupid.
Jeez.
At least it didn't burn in a fire like other stuff we know about.
So does that mean it's still out there somewhere? Or it's in basement or something?
Well, it's been digitally sourced, right, for the CDs. So I mean, it's probably just as good. But
I'm guessing the actual album, the Red Album, is going to have the Andy White version on it. Actually, I'm hoping it does.
I don't know.
Not that I'm going to, I don't know how often I'm going to play that anyway. I want to hear the CD of it, red and blue.
I think it will because the original did.
Yeah.
It's even on here. "Love Me Do" only got to 16.
Yeah, it wasn't a number one. I know.
Well, I think I forget what the explanation was. Was it on one of those other labels, like the Tolly label or something later on? Was that part of that top 5?
It got released on Tolly. I don't know if it made.
Well, maybe it was number one in England. Did it get number one in England?
No.
16.
No.
Well, it would have to have been number one somewhere. When the Beatles hit the charts, the top 5, and
I think it probably was number one at some point, but it would have only been for like a week or something.
Yeah,
because
it wasn't in
that
62.
Time,
it was 64 maybe.
They were heading towards "Can't Buy Me Love" by the time it came out as a 45, so it wouldn't have been for very long.
Breaking news! No ski lodge on Tuesday. Oh no. What are we gonna do on Tuesday if there's no ski lodge?
I don't know.
Well, I guess we're going to Joe's house.
Well, no, I'm not. I'm going to be stuck going to that place again, classroom again. There we go.
I could maybe do something. I don't know. I'll think about it.
A return of Snap Crackle Pop.
I can think about it.
I don't know. But that's sad news, though.
Oh, Paulina sent me an audio clip, but I won't play it here because,
Yeah. Oh, and I was going to tell Tim, but I ran out of time, that the new commercial I have of Parker getting his money and going off to the Caribbean or wherever, it got caught by YouTube for copyright.
Wow, really?
Yep.
So did you have to take it down?
No, it just gets that, like,
Yeah.
like,
We didn't monetize it anyway, so
the material on your show is, and then when I checked to see what it was, that's what it was. So I had to redo the commercial that weird Parker's on the beach and the Thunderbird song plays. I had to reverse it. So I had to do a little.
Oh, so it was.
Oh, that was it. It wasn't the actual commercial. So I thought maybe the commercial, because it's fairly modern commercial. So I thought maybe it was the commercial itself.
It was for the Thunderbirds theme song. I was like, geez. So
folks, I just can't. I'm sorry. I usually try not to do this at the same time, but somebody I held up the Now and Then single. Somebody goes, "If you already have these songs, why get this?" And I don't have this. It's a brand new song, Beatles song. Now and Then.
Oh, wow! Thank you, Paulina.
Okay, Paulina. Thank you.
Yes.
Cool. I forgot what I was.
Paulina hasn't heard it yet. How did you miss it? And somebody was saying they were playing it every half hour on the Beatles channel on Sirius XM. Like they were playing the hell out of it. So how do you miss it?
I hope it's been getting out there somehow.
What? No, I think Paul has it.
Well, yeah, that's not gonna happen. I got together with Robert P. and we created a replica of it, which is pretty decent. But the story behind that is there was 3 covers to be proofed with no record in them. And Paul White, who was the sales guy at Capital Canada, he kept one and gave the other 2 to other people at Capital Canada. And then there has been some evidence that a shipment made it out to a Simpsons in Montreal. And one copy of it has been found in the wild, and they think that's where it came from, but then it was removed from the shelf. They got the call to remove it. So, and all the other covers were destroyed. They didn't paste over them. They actually destroyed the covers. And they never had a full cover of the stereo. They had little promo leaflets that they sent out to the record stores, about 200-300 of them. And your chances of finding one of those is a lot better than finding an actual butcher cover. But so they never did the paste over it. They actually destroyed them. Canada. So the odds of you finding one is like,
they're buried in a pit in Sudbury.
Kind of thing. Yeah, they don't really exist.
I think people will read. I know I'm going to read the Mal Evans book. I'm very interested in that. Yeah, and you say he didn't cash in the 70s. Well, he died in 75 for one thing, and the other thing is his diaries. The author Ken Womack was allowed to have access to his diaries, so a lot of it's from Mal himself. And you're going to learn things like certain songs that he had a hand in writing, which a few of them that I already know of, but Beatles songs.
That would be enlightening, because then he'd be in line for some residuals, wouldn't he?
Yeah. Well, back in that day, though, the interview that I remember hearing from the 70s, obviously, he said, the truth is, Paul and I wrote 50-50, Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, the song, and also Fixing a Hole. He says, but Lennon and McCartney was so big at the time that Paul said to me, "Oh, Mal, Lennon and McCartney's so big." He said, you'll still get your royalties and or whatever." He said, "But is it okay if we just call it Lennon and McCartney, to keep it going?" And he said, I didn't care. He said, I loved them too much. Imagine traveling the world with the Beatles. There's 100,000 mile length of people on a line that would take my place. He says, I didn't care. He says that's what he said in the interview that I heard.
Well, if he didn't get any residuals, he was living in California, kind of almost destitute.
It's a lot like some of the Wings members. I don't know, not everybody, not destitute. I wouldn't say destitute, but a lot of them didn't. He didn't get paid well. They didn't get paid well.
No, but I agree with that Mel statement, though. I mean, I do it for free. I'd be in McCartney's band for free. I think most musicians would be. Why wouldn't you? I mean, it's nothing to complain about. This is the deal. You want my band. This is what you're going to get. It's not like he promised them the moon and then reneged,
Well, the guys playing with McCartney now, I mean, they must be doing well because they've been with him like 20 years. I mean, he must be paying those guys pretty good to stay.
Maybe he's changed. I don't know.
They're not doing it for the glory, just because they're playing with Paul. Because after 20 years, it's not a big deal anymore. But he must be paying them something worthwhile.
Well, yeah, and Paul has said in interviews, he's not sure of the numbers, but Denny complaining and blah blah blah, and he knows that he paid Denny well over £1 million in the time he was with him. Now that doesn't sound like a lot, but that back then that was about $2.5 million back then. And plus, he wrote songs with him, which Denny gets royalties for those songs. And plus, he let him do the Buddy Holly album, and he didn't charge him any copyright for those songs. And so it's not like he didn't do anything for these people. He did. Could he have done more? Yeah, but
you gotta kind of walk in their shoes, I guess. But you gotta wonder, what would we even have heard of Denny Lane had it not been for Wings? I know he was in the Moody Blues, but when people think Moody Blues, they don't think of the Denny Lane era.
Exactly my point. Most people would do it for free. I mean, I'm Paul McCartney's rhythm guitar player. I'm writing songs with him.
Yeah, but
I'm not going to complain about the money I'm getting. What are your options? Do it or don't.
For free doesn't get you groceries. I'm sorry.
Well, he doesn't play for free. Like I said, he paid him over the 6 years they were with him or something.
Well, Denny Sywell in interviews.
£1 million, which is well over $2.5 million back then. It wasn't nothing.
Listen,
where else
Denny
was Denny
Sywell
Lane going to make that much money? Nowhere.
Denny Sywell said he paid. He had some trouble, living on the money and everything back in that period. Anyway, right? Early Wings. I don't know about.
Well, in the early days, maybe, but eventually they all got more money. I mean,
well, I don't imagine Paul was making a lot of money back in the early Wings days either. He would have been living on his Beatles income, not the Wings income.
He wasn't. So I mean, he's playing in school cafeterias, probably getting 100 pounds or 150
Wait a
pounds.
minute.
How much?
But that was by choice. That was by trying to start as a little band again.
I understand
not because he couldn't have sold out arenas if he wanted. Then I'm sure
these people had choices too.
Yeah, but he was just trying to break the band in before going.
He's known as being cheap with the dollar. That's his reputation.
I'm not saying he's not, but the only alternative is you don't get to play with Paul McCartney.
Yeah, well, I would play, whatever you want.
Exactly. Those are the alternatives. You play with him or you don't.
I have not heard this clip. No.
See, here we go again. Martin is such a troublemaker. Oh, it's so tough sometimes, Neil. I'm sorry, I don't want to take this down. Linda became a songwriter. Yeah, right. Yeah, I know. And Cher became an actress. Yeah, right. And all this kind of stuff. Like people can do other things that they. Cher is a singer, but she became a good actress. Things can happen like that. And Linda wrote some good stuff, and she wrote the middle part of "Live and Let Die," for one thing. The Jamaican kind of flair. What does it matter to you? All that. That's written by Linda. You know, Yoko Ono wrote "Oh My Love" along with John and stuff like that. But whatever. You know.
It's a moot point.
Well, people just like to, I don't know. Haters gonna hate. Nothing you can do.
How moot is it?
Well, I don't know if he's not a hater. He just tells it like it is, like I do, I guess. But like he feels it.
I see.
But so
Well, maybe we are beetled out at this point.
I gotta be stuck being beetled in again in an hour and a half after dinner. I gotta take this hat off too.
Is it tight? Is it like a child's hat?
Oh, Martin, whatever, Martin.
Mm.
But do you think it's impossible that Linda could maybe write a good song? Like, you ever see something like, well, I never knew you were so good at drawing. Well, I never knew you had a knack for this. You don't think people could ever, just because she's Paul's wife, that she can't write? I
Listen
don't
to the Linda
understand that.
McCartney solo album. There
Which I
are
love.
quite a few songs on that she wrote alone.
Seaside Woman? Did she write that alone?
I don't know if she wrote that alone,
but I like that
song
album,
called
White Prayer.
Cow.
White
I don't
Prayer.
necessarily love Cow, but she wrote Cow, and there are others.
I think people have to understand that when it comes to songwriting credits, there's only certain things that you get credit for, and that's basically the melody and the words. So we're not talking about all the instrumentation that goes on top of that. Songwriting credits come from the melody and the words, and anybody can come up with a melody and anybody can come up with words. I mean, it's not a particularly strong. I mean, it's part of being a human being. We can all do that, right? It's all the other stuff that turns something into a song. So, Linda maybe wrote some words and a melody, and then Paul probably put all the embellishments on it and turned it into a proper song, right? But Linda would still get the credit for that because that's what gets copyright is the melody and the words. That's what they copyright. You can't copyright a chord pattern because everybody uses the same bloody chord patterns, right? So, I mean, it doesn't work like that.
Well, Martin, again, we're talking about the Beatles. I kind of understand. See, damned if you do, damned if you don't. 1 minute it's like, why are you criticizing the Beatles? 1 minute it's, why are you defending the Beatles? You can't, because I think that Paul's talking about Beatles tunes, the Lennon and McCartney mystique that was so popular around that time. Lennon and McCartney, that they didn't want to put Lennon and McCartney Evans on there. After the solo years, sure, okay, Paul, written by Paul and Linda McCartney. It's this Beatles song they didn't want tampered with.
The mystique. To see Lennon McCartney, all of a sudden Lennon McCartney Evans. What? Who's that? So they just left well enough alone.
In fact, now that I say that I can remember Mal Evans in his voice saying that, Lennon McCartney Evans, that wouldn't be right. That wouldn't be right. He said, so that's what he says. If you notice in the Get Back film, when Paul was sitting at the piano coming up with words to not let it be, Long and Winding Road, Mal's actually giving him suggestions and he's asking him for. He's like, he trusts in his opinion or his, feedback.
Well, there's something with the publishing company because it was all Maclen music, right? And so wasn't there something with the publishing company that was the contract agreement that whichever one wrote the song, it would be the publishing company through legal obligation will put it down as Lennon and McCartney.
I think they had that agreement among themselves as well when they were young.
Well, that's certainly the way it works with the Rolling Stones. But like everything is Jagger Richards, right? Well, they don't all write. Like those songs aren't all written together. Like Angry, that's 100% Mick Jagger. Yet the credit goes to Jagger Richards, right? And it's probably the same thing where the publishing company, there's this contractual agreement that's the way their songs be credited. And that was my understanding with the Beatles music, and that's why you ended up with, Harris songs. Anything George Harrison wrote went through Harris songs, and anything that John or Paul or John and Paul wrote went through Macland music.
Yeah.
And that's the way. And then you had, what was Ringo's? Was that Startling or Startling music?
Ringo Records. Ringo Records.
No, he had startling
music, right? So it was the same thing, and it didn't really matter. I've got a book that breaks it down. John wrote 60% of this, and Paul did 50%, or all this sort of stuff. But that doesn't matter when it comes to publishing credits, right? The way that the publishing companies were set up and the contractual agreements, I think that it has more to do with that than anything else.
I think so. Although I do, if I understand correctly, though, think that when they were very young, they decided they wanted to always be Lennon McCartney, regardless. Besides the publishing, besides the legality of it.
Yeah. Well, in the early days, they did write together. And it was really, I see it sort of separating with A Hard Day's Night, because A Hard Day's Night is pretty much all John Lennon. That whole album is pretty much John Lennon, right? So you look at that, and I think they started kind of diverge at that point a little bit. But certainly in the early days, that was the way they wrote. They wrote together.
But
they would always suggest too. They would always, lines would get changed and things, and right up till the end, they would suggest. They would, go through and go, no, that's not good. Let's do this. Okay, that.
Well, we saw that in the Let It Be film, where they even George was adding lines to stuff the other guys wrote, and vice versa, but you didn't see everybody getting credit on everybody's song.
No.
Well, George really could have got a lot more credit. I would love to know. We may never know every little thing that was suggested, because George, insisted that he wrote, a couple of lines to Eleanor Rigby and stuff, for example. And I think it's known that he might have written "I'll Look at All the Lonely People" as well. So it's a big, but I don't know.
But also, to be fair, when they did the publishing deal, Ringo and George both got a little. It wasn't much, like 1.5% or something like that. But they got a little bit of the publishing. Paul and John made sure that they did. So the whole time when McCartney hadn't been making anything from Beatles songs, when he didn't own them, George and Ringo were making a little tiny bit. Because they had a little piece of it. But
But that's the nature.
What I was going to say is, there's only 2 songs that during the Beatles, after they got signed as writers, that aren't just Lennon McCartney, and that's What Goes On and Flying.
But that's the nature of collaborative effort, right? There's a lot of bands out there that just give the writing credit to the whole band.
Yeah.
There's a lot of bands that do that, and they don't make that distinction between, who did what. It's just like maybe 2 guys in the band wrote the song, but the whole band gets the credit, because it depends how the band, I think, looks at each other, and they say, well, I didn't write the drum part. That's what, that's what, Charlie Watts came up with, but, he didn't get credit. But you know what I mean? Like they give you everybody kind of gets credit for the part they added to it, and more or less equal. And there's a lot of bands that work that way, and I think that's more true to the collaborative effort, the collaborative way that songs are created by a group. It's more accurate or more true to give everybody credit in the songwriting, because that's really what happens, But legally, again, the only thing that is actually copyrighted is melody and lyrics.
Yeah.
That's legally the only thing that gets copyrighted. So.
Yeah, it's a dull moment. I mean a lull moment, not dull.
It's a lull.
There's a lull.
Oh, and you know what happens when there's a lull?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it's time for commercials.
cat.
What thing? I hate that thing.
Yeah, I hit the wrong button. No, I want to see if YouTube will get me for the thing this week. What? 8-track of video?
I bet I'm the only one that has this.
You are the only one who has that. Yes.
The Night the Lights Went on, George. That's a great song, actually.
Yeah, I do like it a lot. You know, I grew up with it. You know,
she does a couple decent covers on that album too.
I played that album once. Okay, as one of those first-time spins, and I liked the album.
She sings well. She's a good singer.
Like current hits. She does decent versions of.
Oh, see, that's another example, right? Like you think I don't know what her background was before Carol Burnett and everything, but you think Vicki Lawrence is a singer? Well, yeah, you got a hit out of it. People get this mentality: so and so can't write songs, someone can't act, so and so can't do this, you know. But they do it.
She was really young when she came to Carol Burnett. She was like 18, if she was even 18 when.
I think somebody else was supposed to sing it, whatever. If I remember the history, and she said, "No, all right, I'll do it," or something. One of those cases where I got to look that up. Where
she had a good voice. She was a good singer.
Her husband wrote the song, and was it like that she it wasn't really planned that she would sing it, but it wound up that way. I think that's something like that.
Maybe they rehearsed it. Hey, maybe you should do that.
She would sing on the Carol Burnett show before she had that record out. I mean, people knew she could sing.
Well, it was a variety show. You had to do everything. You had to act, you had to sing, you had to dance. You know, you had to do everything to be on a show like that.
I don't remember Tim Conway ever singing.
Wow, that was a special case. I mean, he
was a guest star anyway. It took Tim Conway 8 years to become a regular on that show and be listed in the opening credits as a regular.
Those are the ones I want to watch. If he's not on it, and with him and Harvey Korman, I almost don't want to see it anymore. But I watch him.
Yeah, Lyle Wagner wasn't funny. He was more of a straight man. But
he was a good-looking guy.
Harvey Korman was always funny.
Oh, he was a good. He was in a lot of things. He was very talented.
Yeah.
People would still come up to him and say, "Do the kazoo for me."
Funny stuff. They don't make them like that anymore.
And he's in the Munsters too. At least one episode of the Munsters. Harvey Korman. I forget which one it was, but
I still like him in Blazing Saddles.
Oh.
Well, they put the night they whatever.
Headley.
The chair and Sonny turned it down.
Oh, really?
Like, why would Sonny? I didn't write it.
Cher singing that. She probably did at some point on one of her shows.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, I like Cher. I grew up with Cher, you know, too.
Sonny turned it down, huh? That's interesting. Because it was a big hit.
She did better with Dark Lady.
Hey, I love those songs. That Half Breed and Dark Lady and Gypsies, Tramps, and Thieves. That's like what? Oh, that's a favorite from my childhood.
It was a good string of hits right there.
Yeah.
So you gotta love Dark Lady with the clap part. That's the first part of the whole song.
I don't
think I bought all those singles.
I don't think that one got played where I live.
Really?
I don't remember that one at all.
Tim, I'd like to hear a review of it when you get a chance to hear it. See what you think of it.
Yeah, I don't know that one.
Yeah, you can be all those people right now are going like, I listen to Now and Then. You know, like there's hundreds of them now. You know, people who are.
I said on Thursday, 50% of every video going up on YouTube is about the Beatles Now and Then.
Oh, every 20 minutes there's a new one going up.
Yeah.
The people are offended that you didn't watch the video. My God, how could you possibly watch?
Yeah, did that happen? Now, somebody tell me. I haven't watched Beetle Babes video yet, but supposedly she doesn't really care for the song much. Is that true? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I haven't seen it.
I haven't watched it. I don't know.
I think you have, like, if you're a Beatle fan, you have to at least understand its place in history. That to me is its real value. Like the music aside, the value is its historical significance and the technological thing about it. You know, significance. And to me, that's the real value. And it's plus, I like the song. I think it's a pretty good song. And
It turned out great.
original.
Yeah.
Well, the
It
demo
got
was
turned
barely
into a
like,
good song.
oh,
Yeah,
it's just
what
like,
I've
you know,
said-
play the demo. It's like, oh, who died? You know?
Yeah,
Well,
I really
Yeah.
was worried. I didn't
Yeah.
have any faith that this was going to be going to pull something off like this.
My
you know,
first
how they pulled
reaction
it
was
into,
it's a lot
they
better
pulled
than
it
it
into
has
an
any
actual
right to be.
listenable.
Yeah, it's a good listen. It's listen.
track.
You know, I don't think I don't think it's a great song, but or anything. But like, I agree that historically, the technologically, like what they had to do with, you know, to get it to come out like that. That's all important, and the emotion of it. Yeah.
Even Free as a Bird didn't really turn out as well as this one.
Mm,
I don't like Free as a Bird. I'll say it in public.
no, that's a lot of people
never
don't.
turned
I
that
do.
song
It's my favorite of the three.
too slow, too dirgy. Like
I'm
the
agreeing with
added
everything
part.
Paul says today. See, you never
I
know.
like the added parts better than the actual song. I like the verse, the choruses. Or
I always like Real Love much better than Free as a Bird.
That's
To me,
my
Real Love
least.
is a real song.
Yeah.
Like it had a real melody to it and a good chorus.
Closer to being finished.
You know, like to me, it was a far superior song. But that's me. That's my taste.
Yeah,
you
see,
know.
because I agree with that. I mean, I always say when I heard Free as a Bird, I'd heard it before they did it because I had the Lost Lennon tapes,
Right.
bootlegs, and it was a dirgy, plodding,
Yeah.
depressing, mediocre nothing. And I said, oh, you know, what are they going to do with this? I think they enhanced it, but not as well as they enhanced, in my opinion, Now and Then. I think they had the same feeling of the tape Now and Then.
Way too slow. Like to me, it was just like, oh God, when's this song gonna end? You know, like it's just like it's just like, I don't know. I never warmed up to it. Sorry, but no, that's fine.
Yeah, but the video might have helped with that one too. So like,
Yeah, I barely remember.
Yeah, it did knock me out like this one did. I mean, I saw it when it premiered the video, but that didn't really knock me out at all. It still was creative.
Better
but
than this one. I think that's the best video of the three.
Oh yeah, no, clearly. Yeah.
But you're talking about which one? The first one you're talking about?
No, I think Free as a Bird is the best video.
Yeah, he thinks Free as a
Oh
Bird.
really?
Yeah.
No, to me, it's mostly forgettable.
I mean, again, for the time,
Real Love video was awful. I hate the Real Love video. I thought.
Floating white piano.
Yeah, nothing.
But you see them in the studio, if I recall, with that a little bit in Real Love video. But those two didn't knock me out at all. This one, you know, just floored me. This was
Well, it's just, you know, better technology too, right?
Yeah.
So you can do more.
It was just the psychological thing of seeing them all together. It sort of, you know, just kind of like, oh, geez, kind of almost
Marcus.
like a wish thing. So like,
I agree with Marcus, which is why I don't like Free or Real Love as much, is because it was almost a fully formed song. They didn't do that much to it, but play on it, and they worked on the other two a lot more, which is why.
Yeah, but it was a good song. That's why I like it better. It's just a better song.
Yeah, I think it's better.
Whether or not they did more or less on it doesn't matter. It's just a better song, in my opinion.
I just wonder. Look, some people say a lot of times, "Oh, we had that released already." Real Love on the John Lennon 1988 Imagine documentary, but it's not the same exact version. I don't think. There are multiple versions of it. It's different words. It's not the same one anyway. The same take.
No, it's not the same take, and it's shorter. It's shorter on. And then he also had a song called Real Life, which is basically the same song with some slightly different lyrics.
Right. It was Real Life, right? Then I think it was the first Real Love. Then it became Real Love. Interchangeably.
So what's a better song, Child of Nature or Jealous Guy?
Jealous Guy.
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, Jealous Guy is.
You know what's funny? Jealous Guy it's a great Lennon track, obviously, right? It's a great Lennon track. I loved it when I was younger. I guess for some reason, I don't know why these days I don't love it as much as I did when I was younger, but I recognize it as a great Lennon song.
I think it's better than Imagine. I'd put it as my favorite song on the Imagine album.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, it's a great song. really is. Great. And the other thing is, only John Lennon could sing that song, like "Jealous Guy." That's it wouldn't work for anybody else.
And what teed me off was when they put out Imagine as a double record set if you didn't buy the whole box, and they gave you an alternate version of Imagine as the second. Yeah. They used the version of Jealous Guy they used. He only gets halfway through the song, screws up and stops, and then it goes on to the next song. I'm like, there are other takes. Why did you use that friggin' take of Jealous? That's the song I wanted an alternate version of the most. And they no. We're just
they knew that. That's why they
move
didn't give it to you.
I'm like,
yeah,
it was a fight deal.
So the Record Store Day version came out, which was different still, and I bought that mainly just to get on vinyl an alternate version of Jealous Guy.
Now we have breaking news.
I don't even mention it.
Big C has COVID.
Oh, that's a shame.
Take a couple aspirin and go lay down.
Take a break from the internet.
That's right.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Just go lay down and sleep for a month at least. I think that might help.
No, Henry's been cool lately.
Yeah, and I'm done watching The Honeymooners again.
Oh, okay.
All done.
So the last one you watched then was the one you're an assistant plumber.
I thought the last one was the one where.
Does that include the Sheila Kennedy ones?
I lost.
Whichever.
Does that include the Sheila Kennedy ones?
Oh, Sheila McRae?
Or Sheila McRae or whatever.
No. You don't need those, Doc. I like them because I'm a completist, but still, I'm a completist with that show. But
very well.
Right now, I am watching Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Oh boy.
That was about the only ones on that spindle that was like half-ass interesting. So
did you know Bullwinkle Moose is a programmer?
Yes.
Somebody thinks so.
No, all my demos and examples I create for my students, the author I put Bullwinkle J Moose.
Wow. Pretty talented.
Yeah,
probably 90% of your students have no idea what you're talking about.
That's my pseudonym for writing program code. Is it Bullwinkle J Moose?
But I'll say like the ones that I'm watching, I guess, are from the very beginning, and the character designs are way off. So like at one point, Natasha looks like it was drawn by a third grader. Really bad.
Anybody hear a hum?
Yep.
Yeah.
Who's humming?
Oh, that's probably my garage door.
Well, anyway, on that note, dinner's going to be ready in like 10 minutes. I'm eating a little early to do the live stream. So everybody, good talking as usual.
Yeah, what time? 7 o'clock, you said?
Yeah, we usually eat at 7, but I'm doing the live stream at 7, right? So yeah.
Tune into the new Mr. Mayo stations.
Yeah. Otherwise, don't if you had enough now and then. Most people have.
If you've had enough, forget it.
But I've only heard it twice.
Yeah, I don't know what else I could say about it, but I mean, I'm supposed to have Matthew Street on there, which is good because he hasn't been on Fab Gab in a while. Supposed to have Beatly Tone on there.
Wow! Oh.
And Kid O'Toole was going to come on, but I think she can't make it. That something happened at the last minute. I don't know. Maybe Tom and Yanni, maybe, and So
wow.
Maybe I'll put the link. I'll put the link out there too. So anybody, Tim, or anybody want to?
7 o'clock. Me, Mr. Mayo channel.
All right, folks. So see you soon.
Okay.
Later.
Bye, Joe. Bye.
Bye, Joe.
Ah.
What happened? Oh,
yeah.
That's better. Hey, I got the whole road myself now.
Yeah, it defaults
time for my favorite line. Thank goodness he's gone.
Oh, we have an update from Henry and his COVID. I've been constantly popping ibuprofens, cough drops, drinking tea, and I'm miserable.
Just go to
probably
bed.
Taking too much ibuprofen, cough drops, and tea. That's what makes me feel bad.
I don't know.
That's a lethal mixture.
It is. Wait, I still have to play this Halifax commercial to see if I get dinged by YouTube again.
Parker?
Yes, m'lady?
Don't forget to collect my new dress for the races.
Yes, m'lady.
And do polish the car when we get back.
Yes, m'lady.
And tidy up the mansion.
Yes, m'lady. With your ladyship's permission, I'd like to go to the bank.
Very well, but don't dawdle.
Hello, can I help?
Have been sent this letter asking me to pop in.
Oh, can I have a look, please? Right, Mr. Parker.
Just Parker.
Well, Parker, I've got some great news. You've won the top prize in our Savers prize draw. Congratulations!
500,000 quid? Blimey.
What do you think he'll spend it on?
Oh, I'm sure I'll think of something.
Parker? Parker?
I like that better than the original theme.
Well, I had to do something because of the YouTubers giving me the copyright notice. But it came out in a different aspect. That was weird. So really, it has to be fixed again. Like, what the heck happened to the aspect?
I would just go with it.
I'm sitting there like, look, I can get myself into the picture. Whatever. But yeah, last week when I played that, all of a sudden I got a copyright notice from YouTube. I'm going like, what? Because I didn't know what got the notice. I'm going like, what did I do? And then it says from this time to this time, and oh geez, Thunderbird's theme. Okay, fine. So I just turned the music around. But
well, you could end up in jail. We'll see.
I know. And besides, did we not just learn what Parker's first name is?
Mister.
No. Didn't you see it was on the check?
No, I didn't look at the check.
Oh no, I didn't see.
You didn't notice?
No.
What is it?
Oh, being that I've run this thing so many times doing the editing and that, Parker's first, and they even say, and Parker, like, just Parker, like he's never said his first name before.
No.
On the check, it has Aloysius.
Wow.
Aloysius Parker.
Aloysius.
Now, is that going to be canon now or what?
Well, it could be. It all started on your show.
I guess so. Actually, that's from a few years ago. I have no shame making Thunderbird satanic.
It depends on who actually made the commercial. If
Halifax people.
Well, yeah, but I'm talking about if I can't even remember her name now.
Oh, Lady Penelope.
Yeah. If she was behind it, then it probably is canon.
Sylvia Anderson.
Yeah. If Sylvia Anderson, then it probably is canon. If she's not, then it probably isn't. I mean that's the way it works.
But it's funny how like even that commercial could make something canon. Because for years the Joker on Batman never had a name, and then all of a sudden came in 1989 and they called him Jack Napier, and now it seems to be canon.
Well, yeah, if something is official, and it doesn't even have to be like the singing frog in the Warner Brothers cartoons never had a name, and somebody came up with a name in like the 60s for him or something. Maybe it was even the 70s, and now and because it was Chuck Jones that came up with the name, that's his name now.
What about the comic books, though? Didn't he have a name in the comic books?
You mean the Joker? No.
Joker?
No. He was nothing. He was no name at all. He was a mystery.
He just appeared out of nowhere.
Yeah. So all of a sudden, 1989 Batman gave him a name, and a lot of people were like up in arms about it. Like, what? The Joker's never had a name before.
Oh, he never had a backstory in the comics then?
Only how he became the Joker.
But it didn't name him.
They didn't name him.
Oh.
So supposedly now the Joker has a name. But there's a lot of stuff that
he's a
that happens.
Person.
Like you take a character and you add something to it, and when you add something to it, it becomes accepted and becomes canon.
Sort of like the Clint Eastwood movies, like The Man with No Name. We had the Joker with no name.
This is true. Yeah. So, but I've even seen it, like made fun of in later stuff that they'll take. And what's the Joker's name? It's Rapian. They'll spell Napier backwards.
Right.
Like whatever.
Well, the man with the man with no name, the Clint Eastwood character, he had a name. You remember what it was?
No.
It was in the Fistful of Dollars.
Is it Jack Napier?
No, it was Joe.
Joe.
They called him Joe.
It's Joe.
One of the characters called him Joe.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or like Blondie.
No, that was in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. But no, his name was in the Fistful of Dollars was the first one, and the old Undertaker called him Joe.
I don't know. Does Blondie have a real name?
Well, it was the same character, I think.
Oh.
So.
I was thinking of the comic strip.
Yeah. At least I think it was the same. Those three movies, he played the same basic character. So I'm assuming it was the same character in all three movies because it was like a series.
I would even say it's the same character in Hang 'em High, even though
I don't know about that, but
it's not. But I think it is. I think it's the same character in Hang 'em
I
High.
thought he was the same character in Two Mules for Sister Sarah because he did that right after the spaghetti westerns. But his name was Hogan in that movie.
But in Hang 'em High, he doesn't have a name.
Yeah, Jeb Cooper.
Oh, does he? I didn't think he had a name in Hang 'em High.
Jeb Cooper. Yeah.
I haven't seen it in a long time.
Yeah. The judge called him that. They called him Marshal Jeb Cooper.
Okay, then I guess he has a name then.
Yeah.
That's my favorite Eastwood movie. Just because it's so simple. You couldn't ask for a simpler movie. Three or four, how many it is, guys try to hang him. They're not successful. So then he goes and kills them one by one. That's it. That's your whole movie. That's perfect. What more do you need? What more do you need?
That's Clint Eastwood's career for the next 30 years.
Yeah, what more do you need? You don't need all this crap going on. That's it. That's your movie. Simple.
That guy went into the 20th century and became Dirty Harry. Same guy.
Unbelievable. Well, people are dropping off. So
including us.
Yeah, I know. So maybe right now is a good time to end the show. We've hit 2 hours anyways. So.
End it with dignity. Go on a high note.
And don't drive it into the ground. So hey.
Walk into the forest and do the honorable thing.
Yeah. Yeah, and don't forget to go to your local Target and get your Now and Then. One, whatever. So
there we go.
Anyway, yeah,
we're doing our promos. There you go.
I can have mine by next Friday.
Is yours colored vinyl, Tim? Is that a colored version? Or?
Yeah, mine's the red Target version.
Very pretty.
But I haven't opened it yet. I haven't opened either of those yet.
Yeah, you're way behind on that kind of stuff. So, yeah. Take care, everyone. See you later. Bye.